welcome to episode 5 of DBT in 5. Today we are continuing on the mindfulness, getting into it a little more. This comes from Mindfulness Handout 1A in the DBT Blue Book. And what we're going to do today is talk about definition of mindfulness and a couple of ways to add mindfulness practices into your life. So when you ask most people about mindfulness, and this has really changed in like the last 10 years, right? This has become a buzzword that is a popular word that most people have had some like exposure to mindfulness in the last decade, but maybe don't have a really clear definition of, like, if you ask somebody to define it, what they would call mindfulness, like what is required for mindfulness. And so I think it's a thing that a lot of us have a schema for. You know, we've been exposed to maybe yoga classes, breathing, meditation. We know all those things are mindfulness practices, but we don't really have this clear, concrete definition of what it is to be mindful. So DBT does a really good job of breaking it down. And so first we're going to cover our definition. So what is it to be mindful? To have intentional living with awareness to the present moment without judging or rejecting and without attachment to the moment. So you can see I've got all the important words there in blue, and we're going to go through and break them down a little bit. So intentional living is one of my favorite hashtags. I use it all the time. Mindfulness requires us to be deliberate. If we are being reactive, if we're just doing what the moment needs from us, we're not living intentional. And so to be mindful, we have to be deliberate. Awareness. We also cannot be like on robot mode, auto function, like do this, do this, do this. We have to be aware and integrated with our life around us, aware of our emotions, aware of our physical states. And when we have non-awareness, we're like way more vulnerable to being reactive, right? So these two go together, intentional and awareness. Mindfulness is all about the present moment. Anxiety and depression are both non-mindful emotions, and that anxiety has you thinking about all these outcomes in the future. Depression has you reminiscing about all these positive memories in the past and how life is different from that now. Mindfulness is about being here now, learning to be cool with your life no matter what's going on in the present moment. Okay, without judging. Non-judgmental stance is one of our 3 what's of mindfulness. It's a big thing, and it's something I work on with every single one of my clients, learning to replace evaluative words with non-judgmental describers. Changing thoughts from evaluative, good, bad, evil, kind, to just statements of facts can make a huge change in your life, a huge change in your mental health. That one piece of mindfulness can be a game changer if you start applying it. Okay, and without attachment to the current moment. So this again comes back to non-mindful emotions. That if we are attached to the current moment, then we're not ready for the moment to change. And change is one of the constants of life. And so we accept the current moment for what it is with the knowledge that it will continue to morph as time goes by. Okay, so what does it mean to be mindful? It means to live in this way. Well, how do we become more mindful? We practice mindfulness in our life. Mindfulness does not come overnight. It's a skill set that you develop over time. I often tell people I did my DBT training in 2014. It's 2021, 7 years. This last year, I've really noticed a difference in how my mindfulness practice has changed. That 6th to 7th year, along with, COVID and all the lifestyle adaptations that came with that. A mindfulness practice is a lifelong journey, and it's so cool to see how your brain changes over time, how things that you had to work really hard for in the beginning become second nature and then first nature. So it's such a cool journey to be on. So some ways to develop your mindfulness practice. DBT suggests 4 that kind of most people are aware of. The first one is meditation. So there are all sorts of different types of meditations. There's short meditations and long meditations. There's guided and silent and imagery based. And I think most people have been exposed to meditation in some form at this time. So the idea is to slow things down, to be here now, to notice your thoughts and observe them, or notice sensations and observe them, and then to just be present. For meditation, you want to find what works for you. Another one of our mindfulness keywords is effective. So if you don't want to chill out for 60 minutes doing a guided meditation, try a 2-minute meditation and see if that works. We want things that you're going to apply to your life and apply over and over and over. And so if you only do that 60-minute meditation once, it is not more beneficial to your life than if you do that 2-minute meditation every single day for the next year. Prayer. This is one of the first examples of how DBT is really adaptable to all major religious beliefs and practices. It comes from an Eastern tradition, but it recognizes that like all major religious practices have some idea of prayer, of contemplative discussion with a higher self or higher being. And again, it's all the same things as meditation, right? You're quiet, you're focused on thoughts, and you're in the present moment. You're not thinking about things that were or things that could be. Third one is mindful movement. So lots of different ways to do this. This could be yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates or Payo, Nia, which is yoga dance, martial arts, any type of dance, right? Anytime you're moving your body and you're like actively engaged in it, you can have mindful movement. And the final one is life. There are all sorts of ways to have mindfulness in your life. And DBT breaks it down into 3 house skills: observe, describe, and participate. And the ultimate goal is that we build a life of flow where we are actively engaged and participating in everything that we do. And we're operating at our optimal level. And that's really what mindfulness like prepares us for, is to have more flow in our life. Next time, we're going to break it down into the wise mind, emotion mind, and logic minds. Great mindfulness skill. I can't wait to share that with y'all. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I'd love to see you like and subscribe. Leave some comments. I'll reply to any I see. And have a great day. See y'all on Thursday.